Hey Dan, it is Saturday night, and I have finally stopped feeling sorry for myself about trinona, and I'm going to make a video and tell you how it went while eating pita with hummus. First things first, it is hot here again, pretty warm, probably in the mid 80s today, fairly humid. Let me show you neighborhood cam here real quick. Very lush and green out there. Today I went and actually went in early and had a big catering order at the university that I did. But I'll come back to the catering part in a bit. And then went, excuse me, went to the Y and lifted, which I'll also come back to. And then went and swam open water, maybe 2,500 yards or so. It was really nice. But yeah, it's warmish here. I don't know if you or if your lovely wife watched any of Rory McIlroy thoroughly dominating the U.S. Open U.S. Open field, but it was good. So I told you about the heat I was in, or the wave I was in trinona. The day turned out just beautiful. Mid 70s, sort of high 60s in the morning, a little bit overcast, light breeze. It was really nice. As I expected when we went. Oh, can you hear that? Hear the thunder? That's why I'm doing the window cam here. But as I expected, there were a lot of people to swim through to get to the finish line. At the start in Heat 1, there was one relay that got to go in Heat 1, and that was a really fast team. And I think I told you about the guy Brian, who I really wanted to beat, Brian Erdman, who I swam against last 2 years ago. But he was swimming in that really fast group in the first wave, and you know, watching them leave, it was envious because, you know, you had a whole string of swimmers, none of whom, you know, once they got past the first buoy, which is 300 yards or so, they weren't really in each other's way at all. So, you know, they were able to just really stretch it out and swim hard. The guy who won the triathlon, he's a professional triathlete named Dave Thompson. He swam it in 18:08, which is exceedingly fast, even if you're only doing just a swim. In fact, he had the fastest swim time. And so, as I said, I was in Heat 10, and so it was Heat 1, and then it was Heats 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 were all the sprint heats. And then 7, how did that go? 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12. Maybe 2 through 7 were the sprints, all leaving at 2-minute intervals. And so they only went out to an intermediate buoy and then back again. And then there was a 10-minute interval, and then Heats 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 went, and I was in Heat 10. So when we took off, I got into the front of the pack and pretty much stayed there, my group. But within probably 2 minutes, I had already caught up with some of the swimmers in Heats 9. And then by the time I got to the first buoy, I was already caught up with some of the swimmers from Heat 8. Again, that's not very meaningful unless you know how fast they were swimming, which unfortunately was not very fast. So there were probably 30 swimmers in each heat, and I came out of the water third overall of heats 8, 9, and 10. So first in my heat, and behind just two others from the other two heats. And as I thought, there were a lot of people out to that first buoy. I mean, I really took it wide. But the other thing was I just decided to change how I was going to view it. I wasn't going to sweat the fact that I probably wasn't going to beat my time, and I just swam what I felt like was a good hard race. I ended up swimming it in 20:39, which is about 32 seconds faster than last year. But I felt so much different. I think I'm just in better cardiovascular shape than I was in. And so, obviously I wanted to break 20 minutes, but I knew, I don't know, that wasn't necessarily a possibility given all the people that I had to swim through. But as it turned out, I think it was. Because when I got out of that water, I realized I think I swam only like 85% of what I could have. So, you know, another race learned, another lesson learned in the racing. But the day went well. It was a great turnout. I think they had like 800 participants, which is really cool. And then after the swim, they had a massage tent, so I went and got a massage in an open tent. Then I had some food, and then I went home and took a nap. It was all in all, an okay day, even though I didn't swim as fast as I wanted to. But since then, I have now gotten back into my old routine of swimming 6 days a week. But I'm doing a couple different things. One, as I said, I'm lifting. Willie, one of the swim coaches at the Y who I've been working with, suggested that as a way of getting faster. Building up the muscle endurance is really important, especially when you're swimming the 200 and the 500. And so what I've done is I started lifting 3 days a week. It's just, it's not a lot of weight. It's a lot of reps, not a lot of weight. And so I do 3 sets with each machine, and there's 5 upper body and 5 lower body, and it's on a 3-day cycle. So that you're doing slightly different weights each day. And then so what I do is on lift days I swim only about 3,000 yards, and then on other days I swim about 5,000 yards. And I've started swimming with, actually one of the coaches I was working with was named Jamie Severson, and she wanted to get back into the pool. She's 34 and was a swimmer in college, and is wanting to get back into some open water stuff. So she asked if instead of coaching, we could actually work out, which is great because it's good to have somebody who's A, a fast swimmer, B, you can work out with. And so we're working out down at the Aquatic Center, which is of course outdoors. Which is neat to work out. So what I do is I take the kids down, they go do their thing for an hour and a half, and I work out. I'm also swimming at the Y, and then up at St. Mary's a little bit too, but and then open water. It's nice having a variation in where I'm swimming. But one thing, we had a woman today out. Her name is Pamela, who's got this huge, great head of dreadlocks. And she wears her swim cap like right here, and then all of her dreads hang down as she swims. It's pretty funny. But I told her today I was going to tell her about you, or tell you about her, because of the dreads. So we have a dread swimmer now, which is great. Let's see. I guess that's swimming. Soccer. I have been watching, no, I've not been watching, I've been following the Gold Cup, primarily through Eduardo, who's been filling me in on everything. But I'm not quite wanting to watch it on the internet. So, but I understand that the U.S. did make it out of group play, which is good. Hold on, grab my water. So I imagine you've been watching it. So tell me how it's going, because I haven't talked to Eduardo in a couple days. So let's see, what else is happening here? Oh, I told you about the catering. We've been doing a lot of catering. Shakespeare actually starts this week. So I'm interested to see how it's going to impact my swimming workouts. But we do have a couple of kids, not kids, young men, Galen and a kid named Orion. And Orion is actually a soccer player and a soccer ref. But they're going to come out and they're going to be my muscle. So. But anyway, that starts. The first show is on Wednesday, and the first grilling out is on Friday. But we also have a 4-day catering order at this big 2-location, twice a day catering order. So we're essentially feeding, like 70 people or 80 people over the span of 4 days. So what I've done is they've wanted things like pita, tortilla rolls, fruit plates, Greek plates. And so what I did is I said, absolutely, I can do all of that. And then I went to Hy-Vee, the local grocery store, obviously kind of like Safeway, and said, okay, here's what I need. What's it going to cost me? And they gave me the price, and then I raised the price by 10% and passed it on to the university. And they thought, hey, that's great. So everyone comes out a winner. So we'll see how that goes. But that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So busy. So anyway, that's pretty much it here. I'm going to go back and watch Pillars of the Earth, which Beth and I have been watching. And I'll remain yours, hot, sweaty, and still dead.